What's up, Burn Nation? Let's go!
What's up, guys?
Welcome to Trainer Talk. It's DK and Matt Morris. This guy right here, Master Fitness Programmer. I am the visionary, and we together are the engineers of the fitness product here at Burn Boot Camp. And we got 3 questions that we go through in every Trainer Talk, all right, that you ask, and we are so excited to be able to bring you this little segment. Welcome to our studio. We're gonna get right into it right away. Matt, the first question is, what is a superset?
What is a superset? Hey, the key thing with this question, guys, is giving you all the education and information. So if you're thinking about coming to Burn Boot Camp, you will see a superset on strength days, condition days. So what does the superset mean in Burn Boot Camp? That is 2 exercises you're gonna perform back to back with no rest or minimal rest between those exercises. And those exercises can be for reps, where you're counting your reps, or it could be for time. All right, so again, that is a classic superset. Very simple, but very effective, and that's why we use it at Burn.
And if you remember back to, let's see, that was a few episodes ago. We're gonna link it. We're gonna link it right here for you guys. You can go click that link or in the description below and go back to the episode where I talk about the NASM, N-A-S-M, the National Academy of Sports Medicine. That is our preferred certification. All of our burn trainers, they need to have that certification before they even get to us, all right? It's group personal training. That's what we do, okay? Listen, so what Matt and I are gonna do is give you a little reference back to that video, just in case you need to see the full thing, go check it out. But I'm going to do a power superset, which is gonna be the 5th element of the OPT model, optimal performance training model. And Matt is going to do a strength superset, or what we call a muscular development superset. That's gonna work in the hypertrophy zone.
Yes.
Let's go. All right, so Matt, why don't you hit that one first? Yep. Head over there.
So
we're gonna come
me.
over to the, we got a little set over here.
Yes.
We call this the activity set.
Yes,
so all the activity goes on.
Superset. Again, this is gonna be a strength superset and really 2 pulling exercises. We're gonna pull these weights to our body. So the first exercise is gonna be a bent over row. Again, this is a really compound movement where more than one muscle group is gonna get worked at the same time. The key thing here is you're gonna mostly use your back, and your back is really, really strong, okay? So that's why I have 40s. A couple cues for you guys to use here. I'm gonna show the side view here. It's really driving your hips back. Notice my back stays flat. My starting position for my dumbbells are below my knees, and all I'm gonna do is hold this position, and I'm gonna drive these elbows to your hips without moving my head and really concentrate on squeezing my back. So again, you're gonna see a superset done where I'm gonna count for 10 reps, right? I get 10 reps of bent over rows. I'm gonna put those weights down. The second pulling exercise, I'm gonna work my biceps, also for 10. Notice, minimal time between exercises, feet together, palms forward, and I'm gonna maximally squeeze my biceps to the top and slowly control these weights back down for 10, all right? So you get 10 and 10, you shake out real quick, and then you're back for another superset, back to back.
Superset!
Yep.
Let's go. All right, this is why we do these at Burn Boot Camp, because we got 45 minutes, and we need to get you to that maximum muscular development, all right? And so just by the way, so you guys know, so none of y'all call this out in the comments or anything like that, do you really think that Matt's doing 40s and he chant for 10? Do you guys think
higher?
Is it higher or low? Is
Give
it
me
higher
some
or low?
credit.
Give me the dumbbell. Give me the dumbbell that he should be using. I want you guys to tell me how strong Matt is, right? But he said he's going back to back. You're trying to gain that muscle. It's hypertrophy. We want you all to remember that word, because an educated member is a retained member. We want you to understand what we're talking about. And I'm gonna do a power set, all right? So I'm gonna pick up, again, another heavy weight. Matt, what's the rep range for me in power for my heavy exercise?
So power, it's smaller rep goals. Again, we're gonna link this previous episode, guys. So he's gonna go for 5 reps, all right? And again, call Devan out. He should be using more than 40.
What do you think I can squat? These chickens might look a little skinny, but they're strong.
Yes, they're strong.
I work hard on them.
5 hard reps, all right? It's all about intensity here. So Devan's gonna go 5 reps here, all right? Again, all about range of motion on these strength exercises when you got weights in your hands. So Devan's gonna get his butt parallel with his knees. Notice a hard exhale as he stands up. He's gonna finish his 5 reps, all right? So after that 5th rep, the weights are gonna come off, all right? He's gonna go right into a jump squat. Body weight, power, all right? Explode up right away. Notice he didn't waste any time between weights and this jump squat. Form's the same, but he's gonna explode off his balls of his feet and land right into that next rep.
And that's gonna help you really gain that athletic propulsion, that power movement, okay? And you're talking about the highest level of athletic ability. It's power. The only one beyond that goes into specific sports performance training, okay?
Yep.
So that...
And members, You know, on leg days, sometimes when we program strength and plyo, the soreness the next day just hits different.
It does, it hits way different. And that's what we want you to remember, is that if you're sore, that's a good thing. If you're doing it the right way, you're gonna get really sore. You're gonna recover, hit a different muscle group, and then by the time the next day comes around or 2 days later, you should be recovering. And we'll talk about how to recover here in a little bit, okay?
He's out of breath. That's what you
Oh my lordy, let's go back over here now, Matt. So superset, maximizing that 45 minutes. Why is Burn Bootcamp workouts 45 minutes? Why? Because you're a busy person. Life is crazy, right? You have a full-time job, you have children, you have responsibilities that don't allow you to go into the gym, hop on the elliptical for 90 minutes, do 90 minutes of strength training, and now you have 3 hours gone, and what did you really do?
Yes.
What did you really do? Okay, show up to burn, it's 45 minutes, and we keep you moving the whole time. Intensity equals results.
Yes.
And intensity also doesn't mean that you have to jump through the roof or do muscle ups. Intensity is relative, okay? If you are just getting started and I'm doing this as like a baseline, okay? And then I have like, Matt, what am I gonna do if you're training? Matt's gonna be doing jump knee tucks. All right, listen, that's his intense. Sometimes if Sally Flame is just walking in to burn off the streets and hey, we might be deconditioned. It might be a reality that we have not been into the gym for a long time. Or if ever, you might have 4 C-section scars. You might like be so scared of fitness that it's like, intensity, that's like a scary word. Intensity is relative to you, okay? And this is your intensity. Boom, right here. It's all you need. So don't be scared, don't be nervous, all right? We have a modification for every single human being on the planet, and it's progression. That's why we're trained. That's why we enforce the NASM policy, and then that's why we enforce our own certification called the Burn University certification on top of the NASM, just to make sure that when we say Burn Bootcamp trainers are the top 1%, we mean it, damn it. Let's go. All right, number 2, how to avoid snacking at night. How to avoid snacking at night.
This
Go ahead,
is important to Devan because I know, like, he's honest. He struggles with this sometimes. So how to avoid snacking at night, you have to do the work before night hits, okay? So throughout the day, what are you doing to avoid this? You have to maximize your protein intake throughout the day. And again, we talked about protein on a previous episode. We will also link for you guys. But again, we talked about how many grams you should get per day, and that number can't be less than 100 grams per day. If you're getting less than 100 grams per day, I guarantee you're gonna be looking for something late at night, right around 11, 12, or when Devan's sleepwalking.
2 a.m., 3 a.m. Hallelujah. All my parents out there, okay? All my parents, when you get into that pantry at like 2 a.m. because you're walking like a zombie and you got those kids' snacks right there, sometimes it's just like, screw it. And I'm just standing there eating it's not a good thing. No. We don't want to do that, okay? We don't want to do that. And Matt's telling the truth. Matt, preach it. Tell him the only reason why you're hungry is because you don't get your protein in.
Don't get it in. Make sure you have protein in every single meal. Don't skip a meal without protein, because if you do so, that's going to catch up to you later at night when you don't know what to do and you are not tired yet. You're going to be looking for food. Okay?
Matt, go grab those afterburn bars real quick. So I wanted to give you guys just a couple whole food tips, okay? And Matt's gonna help you out with any tips that he has too. Here's my go-to, okay? One thing I don't necessarily do all the time that I'm trying to get much better at, come get better at it with me, is casein protein, okay? I wanna take just a little bit of that. You know, that's about the only time I'll really eat dairy is when I just take a couple tablespoons of cottage cheese at night right before I go to bed. And casein protein has a longer, what's it called, Matt? I forget. It's a longer.
It keeps you fuller longer.
Keeps you fuller longer. It's a slower breakdown. Okay, it's a slower breakdown. It's a longer protein. It's going to break down much slower. That's why it's going to be able to feed protein synthesis throughout the night. I forget. I'm drawing a blank on that one, but it'll come back to me in a minute.
If you know what we're talking about, leave a comment.
It'll come back to me in a minute. Yep. And then afterburn bars, okay? We have these. We have two triple chocolate with almond butter and the cookies and cream. These are my go-to because they taste good, but they also have 17 grams of protein in. And I don't feel when I wake up after eating one of those, if I'm hungry at night, I don't wake up the next morning and like look in the mirror or feel my waistline and feel like I didn't make progress. Yep. If I'm eating these at night, although there's I think 10 grams of sugar in each one, okay, what's gonna happen is that we are gonna wake up the next day and feel a little bit leaner, and that's when you know snacking at night is okay. I also have a banana sometimes with some dark chocolate, and I'll put that dark chocolate in like a little glass bowl. And I'm a microwave chef, by the way. I'll put it in the microwave for 20 seconds. I'll melt it a little bit. I'll drizzle. I gotta drizzle it. You don't just gop it in. You drizzle the almond butter from the spoon, and then you mix up the chocolate, you mix up the almond butter, you dip that Nana in. Oh, it's game time. Let's go. Let's go. All right, anything else, Matt, on how to avoid snacking at night? What tricks do you have? You're not a snacker. You're more disciplined than I am when it comes to nutrition, and I'm going to do better to catch up to that.
I think the biggest thing is every meal I have is half of my plate is protein. Right? Not half of my plate is carbs, not half of my plate is fat. I have carbs and fat with my protein, but again, half of that plate is protein. I eat that first, like I referenced in a previous episode, and then I eat my carbs and my fats. That has helped me avoid snacking at night, where I can just go to bed, get the recovery I need through my sleep, and then wake up and just repeat that. And also avoiding foods that don't make me feel full.
Right.
You ever been to a sushi restaurant or a Chinese restaurant and you leave and you're like 30 minutes later, an hour later, you're hungry? Right? That's not very filling because there's not a lot of protein in sushi or Chinese food. So again, whole foods are the best, but again, half of your plate should be protein. All right? You'll feel yourself feel fuller longer.
Okay, so the last question that we're gonna go over in this episode today is how to recover most appropriately. All right, we talked about working out, talked about training, we talked a little bit about nutrition and how not to snack, and we're also now going to talk about how to recover. All right, how I recover is going to have similarities, but it's also going to be different than how Matt recovers. Why? Because I've had 2 knee surgeries on my left side. All right, so I have to make sure I take particular care, especially of my quads. Okay, so the number one piece of advice that I have for you when it comes to recovery is foam roll those legs out. And when it comes to foam rolling, everything starts and stops with the quads. Everything starts and stops with the quads. So let's do a little quick tutorial. You can use this pattern that I'm about to show you, which goes 8 repetitions up and down the length of the muscle. Stop, find the trigger point, hold it for 20 seconds, repeat 8 reps back and forth. You can use, and then you do that 3 times. You can use this format for every body part. The important part is, all right, and I'm gonna get down and show you here. The important part is when you're foam rolling, it's supposed to hurt. Guys, it's supposed to hurt, and it's supposed to hurt in a different way than your recovery, but we have to do what's called release the fascia or myofascia release, and that's what's happening. This is like a self-imposed massage therapist. That's what a foam roller is. Think about it that way. And if you use the foam roller the right way, you don't really need a massage therapist per se, generally speaking. Okay? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start on my quad. I'm gonna start on my left one. All right? And I'm always gonna anchor myself down with my elbows. All right? And watch my elbows. I'm gonna reach them out a little bit. All right, that way I have pull forward and pull back on my quads, all right? I'm gonna go ahead and stick some more weight on the quad that I'm trying to work. All right, and now I have 4 angles. My first angle is I'm gonna rotate inside or outside on that leg on the IT band, okay? Just on the inside of it, just on the inside of that IT band. And I'm gonna start right above my knee, and I'm gonna roll all the way up that IT band to my hip joint, and the whole time I'm doing that, that's 1 pass right there, I'm analyzing where the trigger point is. Where's my trigger point? Where's that hot spot? Where is the hot spot? Oh, right there, okay, but I got 8 more because the hot spot might change, 6 more rather. The hot spot might change in these last 6. Okay, there's 5, I'm going full range of motion. Still on that 1 outside plane, okay? 3, oh, it's still there. 2, and then 1 out. Right here is where you should feel the pain. What I really want you to do is breathe through the trigger, okay? Breathe through that hot zone. Breathe in. And really try to let your body weight on that trigger point sink around it. Try to fold around the foam roller. What I don't want you to do on this is try to be like super straight and stiff. Just let your body fall over and hold it there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going 8 more, all the way up and all the way down. And I won't do all the repetitions here just out of respect for your time, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It's 8 repetitions, find the hot spot, hold the hot spot for 20 seconds, go 8 more repetitions, and then that's just 1 pass on the quad. Then you're gonna do a quarter turn in. Okay, same thing, quarter turn in. Notice that little subtlety again. I go from here to here. Watch my feet. I go from here to here. Now I'm on that, the second quadrant, and I'm going up and down for 8, and hold the trigger point and up and down for 8, and then I'm gonna fold to the middle. Now, this is the one that hurts the most, okay? Now, when I get here in the middle and I'm looking straight forward, you're gonna get all the way up into your quad, you guys, all the way up into your quad here, where it's really attaching into your hip and your hip flexor, and you'll feel it all the way up in here. What you don't wanna do is roll over the joint, okay? And usually your trigger point on this plane here, this middle quadrant, it's gonna be right at the top for most of us. Again, pulling my elbows in a position, and you can relocate them and you can shift them around and all that, okay? Putting them in a position where I'm feeling it. Right there's, oh yep, that's the trigger point. I'm gonna go do my 8, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna hold, and I'm gonna continue to do my 8. So you get the point, right? Now, if you're foam rolling and recovering properly, you should focus, because you're a busy person, and because I'm a practical trainer, I don't pretend to know everything, but what I do know, and like to recite like all the scientific papers and all that, but what I do know is how to apply things practically. Practical application of what is studied and marked as foundational science, we know, okay? We know, and we're growing. And Matt and I are always looking into how do we reflect the truth in fitness, right? How do we reflect the truth? And the truth is that you're very busy. That's the first truth. And we make these videos for you. You're very busy. So what we want you to do is grab a foam roller, spend 10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes doing what I just talked about. 8 rolls, okay? 1 trigger point, 8 rolls, and just work on your quads today, okay? Just work on your quads today. Whatever body part is the most sore, that's the body part that you need to work on. And it takes no more than 10 minutes. How many of you right now, comment below, how many of you don't have 10 minutes? If you don't think you have 10 minutes, comment below. If you know you have 10 minutes, also tell me what you're doing with that 10 minutes instead of foam rolling, okay? And if you're one of those people that don't have 10 minutes to recover so that your life's major tool, your body, the way you move, the way you transport yourself, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you behave, the way you act, everything, as you know, relies on your health and your mobility and your strength. And to me, that's the most important thing in life. So if you don't have 10 minutes to focus on that, I hate to say it, but I'm going to anyway, then you probably don't have much of a life at all. Okay? So you have to put yourself first in your priority. And if that stung a little bit, good. Let's do something about it, okay? All right, here we go. Matt.
I gotta be honest. Devan's a pro foam roller. I don't use the foam roller a lot. The ways I like to recover for me, again, it's all personal. So Devan really likes that for his quads. I haven't had knee surgery like he has. So the ways I like to do it is it's a blood volume game, all right, through mobility. So I'm gonna show you a couple mobility exercises I do on my days off, really to get my hips opened up, my back. Sometimes I'm chest heavy, so a lot of pain comes from my mid-back where I like trying to hunch forward. And I also sit at a desk. I know a lot of us at home are chained to that desk for 6 to 8 hours a day.
He also has the world's greatest pectorals.
So you might be hunched over. So the first one I want to show you is, and if you've done yoga before, you've seen these as cat-cow. Okay, so, and this is new to you, it's really easy and it's going to make you feel better right away. So first thing is making sure my hands are directly under my shoulders, palms are flat. Again, this drives me crazy. No fingertips, save your fingers, okay? Drive your body weight through your palms, all right? And my knees are right underneath my hips. They're not back here. They're not really close to my hands, okay? So I'm squared up to the floor, and I'm gonna take a big inhale, and I'm gonna come in to that cat position. So I'm gonna round my back, I'm gonna tuck my chin, inhale, I'm gonna hold for 2 seconds, and when I exhale, I'm gonna go to cow, where my lower back arches, and I raise my eyes up towards the ceiling. And I'm gonna repeat that 5 reps. So that's 1. So I'm gonna inhale. Hold for 2 seconds. Again, tuck that chin, round as much as you can, and then exhale into cow. Again, butt goes back, lower back arches, eyes go up. And again, I'm gonna do that for 5 reps. Be really intentional with that cat and cow pose. That will help open up that lower back and that upper back where I have problems with as well.
That's great. And those 2 things don't mean anything. Foam rolling and cat-cow stretching, not like ballistic stretching, static stretching, it doesn't really mean that much if you're not recovering from the inside out. And so my best recovery tip, period, is to get 2.5 grams of leucine protein Okay, leucine protein, the amino protein with leucine in it, which comes from animal products. Okay, and if you're targeting about 2.5, is it milligrams?
Grams.
Grams. 2.5 grams. You're targeting 2.5 grams per meal. You're going to have the protein inside of you that's going to help you recover anyway. Think of leucine as the super amino acid. It's one of the things that makes, outside of having a complete amino acid profile, it's one of the things that makes animal protein scientifically better. We're not saying, to all my vegans and all my vegetarians out there, we're not saying that plant protein complex isn't necessary. I strongly believe in the plant protein complex and the phytochemicals that are a part of that we're not getting, phytochemicals, minerals, vitamins that are helping the transport of that protein that sometimes you might not get as much of that in an animal protein product like elk, where it's like pure protein. It's like 90%, 95% protein. Yeah. So you need both is my point. You need eggs, you need fish, you need animal protein, you need plant protein. And I'm not gonna come from like an activist standpoint, I'm gonna come from a scientific standpoint. And this is what the scientific journals say. And the cool part about it is it's incorporating everybody's philosophy. There's like these nutrition wars that go on, like where vegans have to hate people that eat animal products and that hate people that do carb loading versus intermittent fasting and keto, and it's like shooting shots at one another back and forth to see who's the best. It's like we don't have any interest in being the best. We have an interest in being right and doing right by you so that you can understand what goes into your body is more important for your recovery than what you're doing with a foam roller or with stretching or anything like that. So you have to be able to, and we talk about this in an Ask Devan Anything episode. Isaiah, we're gonna link that up right here in this for you guys so that you can go and hear me talk in depth, the breakdown of the two main protein sources, animal protein and plant protein, and just all of the nuances. I think I go into it for like 35 minutes or something like that, trying to break it down for you. So anyways, that to me is a good start with recovery. And then I think the last thing, Matt, let's talk about the difference between ballistic stretching and static stretching. Okay, you kick that off. I'll fill you in.
So ballistic versus static. Obviously, the word static means you're staying stationary, right? You're not moving throughout the range of motion. Ballistic is what I really would point you guys towards. Again, you want to get as much blood flowing through your body on those recovery days. All right, so the difference between static and ballistic. So I'm going to show you a static stretch right here, and we've probably all done this starting probably when we were in grade school, right? Hey, touch your toes, the reach test, and that's a static. So I'm going to inhale up. I'm going to point my toes back to my eyes, and I'm just going to reach my hands as far down my body as I can, and I'm going to hold this position. All right, so if you're into static stretching, you got to hold it for at least 30 seconds. All right, that is long enough for your brain to signal down to your muscle just to relax. So if it's less than 30 seconds, the muscle never fully lengthens. All right, and again, past 30 seconds, the brain is like, all right, relax, and the muscle ends up stretching the way it should. So again, I'm holding this position, I'm not moving. All right. Ballistic stretching would be I'm actively going back and forth, all right, between sitting and reaching, all right? You're stretching this muscle actively, all right? And that's the big difference between static and ballistic, all right? There's no right or wrong answer. It just might be a personal preference for you, which one you like more.
And I incorporate them both. I incorporate both of them. I think it's very important to incorporate both of them. After a foam rolling session, I'll do static stretching right after a foam rolling session, because what that little brain in the muscle that Matt's talking about called the Golgi tendon is what communicates with the brain back down to the muscle, and that's what's telling your muscle to contract.
Knowledge drop.
Yeah, to expand or contract. All right, I've been reading my scientific journals, Matt. What do you think I got to do at night? I don't like watching Netflix. This is what I do.
He's not snacking at night anymore.
I'm not doing it anymore. I'm getting leaner, baby. Let's go. And it's because kind of like we started doing trainer talk, and I started reminding myself about all of the knowledge that we've accumulated over the years, and I'm like, oh man, DK, you're not doing that, you're not doing that, you're not doing that. So if we're on here and we're doing this is like my ultimate accountability, because now I have to practice what I preach, right?
Yes.
Cool?
Yes.
All right, hey guys, that's it for Trainer Talk today. That's it, Matt. Why don't you go ahead and take us out? Guys, you can subscribe right here.
Do it.
YouTube, podcast, take us out.
2 claps on 2. 1, 2. Bye, guys.